If you didn't know, the Couch to Active 8-week experience is available in 3 unique formats. Get our online course for $99 that's independently done by you. Or do one-on-one coaching with me, which is your full VIP program to make sure you're getting it right. And brand new, the Pen Pal experience. Unique, fully pen and paper through the snail mail, you will complete the Couch to Active program. Choose the experience that will help you smile. Hey there, friends. Lynn Lundberg, your bad couch guru. And it's getting cold up here in Seattle. Okay, I gotta suck it up and figure out how I'm going to be able to continue getting outside. What is my gear going to be that I absolutely love that will get me outside more often? And if that's where you are, be brainstorming too, and we'll keep talking about this. Today, we're going to talk about crossing the finish line alone. And yesterday we talked a little bit about feeling alone and being alone. And today I just want to tell you a story about one time when I crossed the finish line alone and cried and why and all of that. And my little hesitation here that you hear is just me realizing, oh my gosh, I don't know that I've really told people this story very much. And it was a hard thing for me that was hard and I'm proud of, but also hard. And so it's a little weird to talk about it, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So years ago, around 1999, I moved to the Seattle area, knowing nobody. It was one of those job relocations where I knew not a single soul. I moved into the suburbs because the houses were cheaper there. So naturally, then I had a long commute, and the job I had at the time didn't really lend itself to making friends. So I had been in the Seattle area, a big extrovert, for several years, feeling like I didn't have a single good friend yet. And it was lonely. It's hard. Moving to a new city is tough. And so I did meet a group of ladies that were training for a triathlon. And they're like, hey, you can join us if you want to. And I remember being so intimidated because I knew, I was like, what's a triathlon? What is it? Okay, it's a sprint distance, which is a swim, a half-mile swim that you can do in 20 to 30 minutes, a 13-mile bike ride, and a 5K run all in a row right after each other. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, if I could do that, I would be in such awesome shape. And it felt impossible. It felt so far away. And yet I was still in my mid-20s or early 20s. So, the young and ambitious. And, and so I trained for it. But then I realized when the day came for the race, I trained with these friends. So I made some friends, right? These ladies I got to know. And some of them are still like dear, dear friends today, 20 years later. But when the race day came, I realized there wasn't going to be anybody cheering me on at the finish line, or at least I was afraid there wouldn't be. And my friends were there, but they all had their partners there, husbands with them, and they were faster than me. I was the slow poke, and I was incredibly nervous. And for some reason, I just so badly wanted somebody to be there that I knew at the finish line cheering me on. And when the finish line came, I remember having this sense of dread and looking and scanning the crowd. And there was, hundreds of people at the finish line cheering me on, but nobody I knew. And when I crossed that finish line and realized that I did it alone, I cried. I cried for 2 reasons. I cried because I was so excited and proud of myself that I actually finished this thing. I cried because I was so happy it was done. But I also cried because I had nobody there to cheer me on. I had nobody there to say, hey, I'm so proud of you. Hey, that's so exciting. And there was one woman that I trained with who came in later than me. And me and her husband and a couple other people were there to cheer her on. And I remember being jealous of that and being like, wow, like I wish I had somebody there when I crossed the finish line. And then I kind of just let it go. You know how in life sometimes you just have a bummer thing happen and you realize like, okay, my heart really, really wanted one thing, but this is what happened in reality. And so you just kind of move on with your day or your life, or you decide you're stronger than that. You're not going to let it wreck your life or your day. And looking back, I have a couple of lessons I learned. One was I needed to stand up for myself a little more and tell the people in my life, hey, it would really mean a lot to me if you were there. Because I didn't do that. I didn't invite any friends. I didn't ask anybody. I just didn't feel like I was worthy at the time. I don't know. And the other thing is, years later, I realized that I got more and more into doing some of these events, and I did a lot of them on my own, and it became no big deal. And it really was no big deal. And now I've even just a couple of years ago, did a turkey trot all by myself. Didn't talk to a single soul, didn't know anybody. And it was great. It was fine. I enjoyed doing it. So I guess the lesson here could be twofold. One is maybe you need to sit up a little taller and look at the people in your eyes and say, hey, I could really use your support. I could really use you cheering for me. Because people love to cheer for people, you know. Don't be all needy about it, whatever, but, you know, yeah. Or the second one is maybe there's something you want to do, but it's kind of scary, the thought of doing it alone. And especially right now, we're doing a lot more stuff alone in 2020. And so I really want to just encourage you to not make that a limiting factor in your life, to go out and do what you want to do anyway, even if you have to do it alone. Do it safely, right? I don't want you jogging back alleys of New York City in dark, right? Yeah. But don't let it be a limiting factor for you. Alrighty, friends. Next episode is going to be a unique campfire chat number 3, and I'll tell you about that tomorrow. Take care. Go out there, blaze your trails, and get that exercise in. Hugs to y'all. Bye-bye now. If you haven't been exercising consistently but always wanted to, the Couch to Active 8-week experience is a great opportunity to make you succeed. Head over to couchtoactive.com and sign up for the online course, Coaching with Lynn, or the brand new pen and paper Pen Pal experience today at couchtoactive.com.